Welcome back to the Devil's Advocates Radio Show, a Foxconn Tuesday edition. Problematic for two reasons. Now, one, Wisconsin got screwed by Foxconn. It was the big policy promise of the former president, Donald Trump, right?
The eighth wonder of the world. I mean, he was upselling this thing. He had a gold shovel.
Oh, he had a gold shovel, all right, Dom. And the other major problem we're carrying over from hour number one, and now it's becoming more of an ego thing. I am quite hungry, specifically for cookies. And once upon a time, Dom, I had a similar hunger. I don't abuse this power that is mass media. But once upon a time, I had a similar craving for banana bread. Someone had threatened me with banana bread. And we were just going on the air, and I'm like, oh, you got banana bread? And she said, oh, no, I don't have banana bread. And I called to the masses, the mob, Dom. I called them out. Like Donald Trump trying to get them to show up in arraignment to make
Will be wild.
And apparently, I have been neutered like the former president. I no longer have the power to produce, in this analogy, the banana bread, Dom. That day, warm banana bread, melted butter, delivered in studio. You remember it happened. It was like 15 minutes. The power of my voice has no ability to move the ovens or the masses, Dom. I've been begging someone to bring me cookies because I can't leave. I got a job. I got a radio show. I can't go get cookies.
Uber Eats, man.
Come on, dude. I'm on the air here. I'm trying to do a radio show. I was working the crowd for cookies here.
Yeah.
I keep throwing in loose joints for Dom at the party tomorrow, man. I got you covered. But is it too much to ask this audience to have a little? Everybody's thinking, oh, someone else will do it. They haven't done it yet. I mean, we would be okay with a plethora of cookies delivered down here to 202 State Street, Suite 200. That's above the Comedy Club on State. But really, there's like a fudge shop. You could like just come down. I'm good for it. I would even reimburse the delivery of chocolate or cookies or cherry pie, any of the above. But my inability to have any of you deliver on my empty promise of diabetes on the air, Dom, it's saddening. It's like Scott Walker must feel about Donald Trump not showing up for the big debate tomorrow.
Yeah, but Donald Trump Jr. is, so he's got that going for him.
Now, Trump is showing up in Georgia, I understand, Dom, and some wagering going on because
I saw that.
Donald Trump may, as part of the booking process in Georgia, may, and we haven't confirmed this yet, Tom, but may get a picture, a height,
yes,
and a weight. What do you think it's going to be, Dom? That's what they're wagering on, isn't it?
Is that shoes off for the height? As a short guy, I'm just curious. I think about these things. Found this one.
I think they give you jail slippers when they measure you.
Really? Come on. From the Daily Mail, as the deadline for Donald Trump to surrender for booking in Georgia looms, online sports books are going wild with proposition bets on everything from his tie color to his body weight.
Red tie, blue suit, white shirt. It's the only thing the guy wears. Mega hat. No, they won't let you wear a hat in your booking photo. I know this.
One bookmaker site on Friday offered an over-under of 273.5 pounds.
Wow!
Weight upon his surrender to authority in Fulton County. Over-unders, which are often used to bet the point total of a sporting event, allows the gambler to select whether they believe the outcome will be higher or lower than the amount selected by the odds makers. According to Bet Online employee Dave Mason, 77% of gamblers have taken the over on Trump's weight so far, spurring
over 273
to increase the total by 8 pounds.
They're at 281.
Well, I'm not clear on the reporting if it's up.
That moved by like a touchdown and a 2-point conversion.
I mean, 77%, man. You gotta even up those bettors, man. You're not gonna make any money.
Well, that's what the bookies do, right?
Right. So the odds are over what? Over 273.5, Crute. What do you think?
Yeah, he's bigger than that. I mean, because I look in the mirror and I know how big I am. And, I know that I've been as big as maybe like 260 in my life. That's as heavy as I've ever tipped the scales. And I'm almost literally as tall as Donald Trump is reportedly. I'm like 6'2.5", 6'3". And, I have no ass. And this guy's got like a gluteus maximus down. This guy is all ass. So I would guess he's got at least 60 pounds of rump on the back. I got to think he's pushing 300.
Ooh, a little more here, Crute.
Would there be a bonus if he cracks 3? I would, Dom, I would make that wager. The over under 299.9. I would take the over.
Meanwhile,
a gentleman's wager over a drink, perhaps tomorrow, Dom.
Perhaps. For gamblers looking for cash on Trump's weight. It's worth noting that the current over-under on Bet Online, again, 273.5 pounds, Michael, is set far above any weight that has recently been reported for the president. When he was
239 pounds.
When he was booked in Manhattan on New York State charges earlier this year, the 76-year-old Trump reportedly told officials he stood 6'2" and weighed 240 pounds. Although those measurements were self-reported and not verified.
I'm about 6'2", 240 today, Dom.
Right. Let's see what else. When he in 2020, White House physician Sean Conley listed Trump as being 6'3", weighing 244 on his annual physical. That was up 1 pound from his previous physical released in February of 2019, which showed his weight at 243. In 2018, he was at 239 pounds.
That's what Dr. Feelgood claimed, right? That was Ronnie Jackson.
Ronnie. Congressman Jackson to you.
Didn't he just get roughed up a little bit during a recent arrest, the congressman?
Yeah, he was, back in the blue, like trying to push the blue back in the blue.
I would feel strongly that Donald Trump is 300 plus. And if you brought me a cookie or a 3-pack, but not like Quick Trip. I need good ones, like warm ones, some homemade preferably. If you brought me a cookie, I would make you my hero. But CJ, I see you waiting in the queue. You, sir, don't get to talk unless you come deliver cookies. If you deliver cookies, CJ, to 202 State Street, I probably got a T-shirt for you, but I need cookies. It's a fair swap. It's a quid pro quo, kind of like your president did that one time. But otherwise, you got to stew in the queue. No soup for you, unless you bring me cookies. I'm gonna be a villain about this now because I'm.
Yeah,
hungry.
I know you're killing me, dude.
Well, move on then.
Really? Can we move on? Are you over the cookies?
Well, I was willing to wager with you, and then you didn't take my wagering.
Yeah, you want $2.99? You're taking the over. I'll take that wager. I'll take the under.
You think that? I mean, they'd never throw a dude under the bus at over 300 pounds, would they?
I mean, if the guy.
Remember Trump at.
Hang on a second. Now, this is not a self-reported thing. If you're gonna be booked and you're in the jail, I mean, they're gonna weigh you on their scale. They're gonna measure you with their measure, right? I mean, regardless, man, that better be accurate. I mean, you could take your belt off and your shoes, and empty your pockets, cut your toenails, clean your belly button lint out, cut your hair, blow your nose. You could, take a dump. You can, do something to lighten up a little bit. But at the end of the day, it's got to be accurate, man. Right?
Well, we will know how confident he's feeling based on whether he does the early morning booking or the mid-afternoon strolling, right? Because everybody's a little bit lighter in the morning. Like I've told you the story about the black hole up in the Dells. Well, that's a definitive wait thing. You get on this water slide or you wait to get in the water slide. It's a long walk up and a lot of kids. And you're hauling a tube upstairs and it's hot and humid because the heat rises. And you get up to the top and they throw your, in my case, fat ass on a scale. And you got to make weight. In one Christmas at like 9:00 at night, my kid drags me on there. I didn't make weight, Tom.
But you did earlier in the day?
Well, maybe not, but I was like 251. And they're like, sorry, dude.
Yeah.
Moose out front should have told you you can't go on if you're over 250.
Well, you have a wet suit on, and just take your suit off. It's got to weigh a pound.
Oh, I'm, I'm I'm sure they wanted my ass sliding down bare ass. No, that was not a immediate remedy
So
offered
did you have
by
to
the.
do then the coward walk of shame?
Oh,
as you
yeah.
crawled back down the stairs and
How else you getting down? They're not letting you on the water
Ladder.
slide at 251. Like the structural engineering can't take me at 251. But that's like big Crute. So like that's fat Christmas time, eating the Chex Mix, drinking double, triple doubles I've been pouring myself all week. That's like chubby Crute.
and how would you describe yourself now, if not chubby Crute?
Slightly less chubby summer version of Crute. Because I'm more like Trump claims he is. I'm more like, depends. Are we talking morning or afternoon?
Whatever is your lighter weight, man. What do you prefer?
Oh, mornings are always lighter for me, of course.
Mornings it is.
Well,
After coffee and cigarette or before coffee and cigarette?
I don't smoke and I don't drink coffee, but last time I got in the sale, God's honest truth, 242, even. And that one's got the points and stuff. And I just think to myself, if I could just get under 240, I would be a much happier human being.
You'd be presidential.
But I'd be happier still if someone in the audience brought me some cookies. A moment on my lips, a lifetime on Trump's fat hips. Come back. People will tell us, don't fat shame Trump. But I say 300 plus. More devils. 844-967-2789.
You're listening to the radio show your mother warned you about, The Devil's Advocates.
And we are back. Thank you for listening to the Devil's Advocates radio show. Lots of news going on besides cookies, I swear. But you can call us 844-967-2789. Crute, I love the choice of music. I want to throw this one out there. Breaking news. I believe this one from Politico. As reported at the Raw story, a key witness in the Mar-a-Lago classified documents case has retracted their false testimony after switching lawyers. Special counsel Jack Smith's team contends in court filings obtained by Politico's Kyle Cheney. The witness is identified as employee number 4 in Smith's legal team's notification to the judge. Chief Judge Boasberg made available independent counsel, the first assistant, to provide to Trump employee 4 regarding potential conflicts. On July 5th, Trump employee informed the chief judge he was no longer wished to be represented by his attorney Woodward, that's Trump's guy, and that going forward he wished to be represented by the first assistant federal defender. The witness, since retaining new counsel, has provided evidence to the prosecutors implicating Donald Trump along with his aide Nata and chief of Mar-a-Lago staffer Carlos de Oliveira. The filing contends, quote, immediately after receiving new counsel, Trump employee number 4 retracted his prior false testimony and provided information that implicated Nata, de Oliveira, and Trump in efforts to delete security camera footage as set forth in the superseding indictment, the court filings said. So the pressure that came down on everybody, well, there's one that goes, and apparently not just flipping, not just getting a different attorney, retracting their false testimony, but also providing evidence of Trump and Cruz' effort to destroy evidence in the face of what? A subpoena? 844-967-2789. That's not great for the former president.
Can I remind people what the former joked about? That's what the music was for. Trump jokingly threatens to flee to Russia to avoid prosecution. I'd share a gold dome suite with Vladimir. Now, that was always our contention. Dom, he was a little too close, especially that Helsinki. I think they shared a room that night. Let me read a little bit. A Fulton County judge set bond for the former president at $200,000. And Trump said he would surrender to authorities a day ahead of Friday's deadline. And then he issued a complaint about the conditions that acknowledged long-standing speculation that he would flee the country to evade accountability. We had an episode devoted to that in part the other day, Dom. The failed district attorney of Fulton County, Atlanta, Fonnie Willis, insisted on a $200,000 bond for me, Trump posted on his Truthy social. I assumed, therefore, that she thought I was a flight risk. I'd fly far away, maybe to Russia, share a gold dome suite with Vladimir, never to be seen or heard from again. Would I be able to take my very understated airplane with the gold Trump affixed for all to see? Probably not. I'd much better off flying commercial. I'm sure nobody would recognize me.
Yeah. Is he joking or is he serious? You know what I mean? Like,
Well,
in his
he's
mind,
got over these options in his head.
I know. I mean, once you say it, you're all like contemplating it. Like, Of course, I mean, Trump could fly. He's got no restrictions. He doesn't have his passport revoked. He could take his plane and could fly anywhere he wants and go anywhere he wants. At this point, the fact that this is coming out of his mouth makes me think he's actually contemplating it.
Russia.
Yeah. He's got a destination in mind, I think, Dom. I think it's far more likely, though, he would, lease a jet from the Rojo Family Trust. Did I mention the Rojo is supposed to be doing an event tomorrow in Milwaukee, 3:00, the Moms for Liberty? But I'm going to see him on Friday in Madison. I'm going to see Ron Johnson, Tom. I'll bring you back some sound on Friday, some grievances.
All right. Make sure you ask him some tough questions, Crute.
I'm not clear that he will accept my questions, but we'll try. If he provided me with a cookie, 844-967-2789. Terry from Cottage Grove. How you doing, Terry?
Hello, Terry.
Hey guys, how you doing? Listen, just back to Trump's weight. I'm not sure you're taking one thing into consideration. Muscle weighs more than fat. He's almost 80 years old, and I don't think he's ever lifted anything in his life. So, I mean, he could look heavier than he actually is.
Are you saying he's got tailors concealing it in those curtain-like suits he wears?
Yes,
the muumuu suits?
I'm just saying that it's possible. I mean, because I don't think he has probably a lot of muscle. That's all. So somebody who has a lot of muscle can look way more than somebody that looks like heavier than them. That's all.
Right. Yeah, great point.
That's what I claim when I look in the mirror, Terry. Yeah, it's just the heavy muscle. That's why I'm
so muscular. That's why my weight's went up. I've been bulking up, beefing up.
What do you think, Terry? Are you with me though on the 299.9 plus?
No, see, that's the
is
thing.
he over
I haven't
300?
seen him in a long time. Like I haven't seen him in a long time because I don't watch him. So, but I'm just wondering, like, if he's one of those, like he just like is bigger, but he's just mostly flab and fat and no muscle there. He could be maybe 273 and just look bigger.
Yeah, maybe he's just slouching. Maybe he's really a Adonis under that suit.
I just want to bring up the whole muscle versus fat thing and the heavy versus, or that it's heavier than fat.
Well, and great observation, Terry. Thank you for that. That may impact some of the betting and to consider the fat versus muscle, percentage. But as some of our YouTube fans out there are bringing up multiple times, I mean, is that a full or an empty diaper?
Here's one. Low muscle equals low energy. And another texter was talking about the fat. Are they going to measure him in the shoes? Because he's wearing the lifts like Dom does.
I don't have lifts in my flip-flops, man. I'm okay being short.
Come back with us. We are the Devil's Advocates Radio Show, rolling through the happier happy hour. Always a little happier when you join. Previewing the big overrated Republican GOP debate. We're going to have a party tomorrow. The party will be the life of the party. We'll tell you about the debate thing as well. And maybe even Trump on the Tucker, rhymes with Tucker. Your calls. Be careful, Crute. Could be next.
Charged, never convicted. The Devil's Advocates.
Welcome back to the Devil's Advocates Radio Show. Dom likes it when you call him Big Papa.
Yeah.
Dom will be appearing live with the people in Milwaukee tomorrow. GOP presidential debate. So what? Party at the Roman Coin with the Devil's Advocates. That is a big deal. And you're going to want to be there. Feel invited. We've invited you. Bring cookies and loose joints for Dom, but cookies, especially cookies for me, because I've been working this angle, Dom, and so far, nothing.
Got to keep asking. Keep asking.
I will keep begging, but we also made a promise yesterday I didn't make any promises, but
No guarantee.
we told ourselves that we would talk a little more policy today. CJ haranguing us. We never talk about the Trump policies. So I got a little more. This one from the Washington Post. Trump vows massive new tariffs if elected, risking global economic war. Well, here's the policy proposition.
Great. Tell me more. Let's vote for that guy.
Of the Republican frontrunner, Dom. Even in the face of growing personal legal peril, Donald Trump summoned his top economic advisors to his private golf club in New Jersey for a 2-hour dinner last Wednesday night to map out a trade-focused economic plan for his presidential bid. You know, they're meeting on policy. They're putting together white papers, Dom. Wait till you hear who was there. Trump and his top aides, including former senior White House officials Larry Kudlow.
Cocaine Kudlow?
Cocaine Larry and Brooke Rollins, as well as outside advisors Stephen Moore and former White House Speaker Newt Gingrich. Newt's at the party, Dom, and spent the dinner discussing how Trump could attack President Biden in the 2024 election on the economy amid a recent spate of positive economic news that is, raised Biden's fortunes, according to 3 people familiar with the meeting who spoke on the condition of anonymity to describe the, let's call it a private event, Tom. Among the ideas they discussed was Trump's plan to enact a universal baseline tariff on virtually all imports to the United States. The people said this idea, which Trump has taken to describing, is the creation of a ring around the U.S. economy. Oh, I bet he's got a ring around the economy, Dom. Could represent a massive escalation of global economic chaos, surpassing the international trade discord that marked much of his first administration. You remember that, CJ? The international trade discord during the Trump administration. Trump advisors have for months discussed various potential levels to set the tariff rate. And they said the plan remains a work in progress with major questions left unresolved, the people said. Maybe a couple weeks down.
In 2 or 3 weeks, he'll be there, guaranteed.
On Fox Business on Thursday, the former president called for setting the tariff at 10% automatically for all countries. All countries. 10% tax across the board. A move that experts warn could lead to higher prices for consumers throughout the economy and could likely lead to a global trade war. Sweet. Here's what Trump told Kudlow on the Foxy Business on Thursday. I think we should have a ring around the collar of the U.S. economy. Ring around the collar of the U.S. economy. I bet he has a ring every night, and it's probably orange. When companies come in and they dump their products in the United States, they should pay automatically, let's say, 10% tax. I do like the 10% for everybody. So if we recall back to the Foxconn and Donald Trump coming to the great state of Wisconsin, declaring this thing they had not yet built and never really have was the 8th wonder of the world. And Foxconn, with the willing duped gubernator Scott Walker, effectively became a political partner with Donald Trump seeking re-election and escaped the other tariff wars that were going on during the initial Trump administration, right?
Yes.
So just so we're clear, this is an extension of Foxconn-like policies of the first Trump administration, only more so. Dom, the proposed expansion of the tariff policy, which aide said is expected to be the central 2024 campaign plank, reflects how Trump is aiming to expand the power he wielded in the White House, eyeing sweeping authoritarian measures for a second term. More power. The unified executive plan, Dom, that ranged from deploying the military to fight street crime. Sweet. Military on the streets. fighting street crime. You know what that means. He's putting them in black neighborhoods. But anyways, the military in the street to fight street crime to purging the federal workforce. The purge, them, it's coming. Trump is opting not to explain this vision to voters at the first Republican presidential primary debate being held Wednesday. Trump said he will not attend.
Crute, a little bit more on this from the Washington Post on Trump's policies. Let's get to it. Economists of both parties said Trump's tariff proposal is extremely dangerous. Adam Posen, president of the Peterson Institute for International Economics, a Washington think tank, called the idea lunacy and horrifying and said it would lead to other major economies around the world to conclude the United States cannot be trusted as a trading partner. Although aimed at bolstering domestic production, a 10% tariff would hurt the thousands of U.S. firms that depend on imports while also crippling the thousands of U.S. firms that depend on foreign exports, Posen said. The United States today imposes an average tariff on imports of just above 3%, according to Posen. That number is higher for some countries, with goods coming from China facing an average import duty of 19%. Quote, you would be depriving American families of an enormous amount of choice, making their lives much more expensive and putting millions of people out of work, Posen said. Trump could use unilateral authority to exempt whatever countries he chooses from the automatic import tariffs. It would create enormous opportunity for influence peddling. It would create enormous opportunities for influence peddling, allowing 4 years of a Trump presidency in which following 4 years of a Trump presidency in which Saudi Arabia and other nations sought to steer Trump by frequenting his private businesses. It's a recipe for corruption, Posen said. They will decide that whoever cozies up to Trump and whoever his commerce secretary is will get the exception. Well, there you go.
What a sweet deal, Dom.
That's all the reason you need. And let me just pause for a moment here and let's reflect back briefly, if we may. The China tariffs. When Trump was president, he imposed tariffs on China. Remember that? And then China responded by what? Imposing tariffs on a bunch of agricultural goods from the United States. So then Trump went to the bank, went to the United States taxpayer, and decided to just what? Cut checks to farmers. Give them money. Politico from, let me just pull this up here, if I may, not so long ago, 3 years ago, July of 2020. Here are some of the numbers from them. Direct farm aid climbed each year of Trump's presidency from $11.5 billion in 2017 to more than $32 billion this year. Again, 2020, an all-time high, with potentially far more funding coming in 2020, amounting to about 2/3 of the cost of the entire Department of Housing and Urban Development and more than the Agricultural Department's $24 billion discretionary budget, according to Politico. But lawmakers at the time took
I hate socialism.
Right. The massive payments have been a political boon to Trump in farm country. He tweeted in January that he hoped the money would be the thing they will most remember, but risk creating a culture of dependency as farmers and ranchers work the bonus subsidies into their financial plans when making large upfront investment, yada, yada, yada. Again, what do we see here? What do we see? This new discussion now of a 10% import tariffs where, the economists say this is a recipe for corruption. Well, of course it was. It's political. He's trying to put money in his pocket. And he gave a bunch of Trumpster farmers billions and billions of dollars through socialism because China reacted to his imports. Another one from the
import tariffs, that is.
Yes, import tariffs. The Council on Foreign Relations. Again, this one from, October of 2020. A few numbers. American farmers indeed claim nearly all of China tariffs revenue, $66 billion. In 18 and 19, Trump authorized payment to U.S. farmers of $28 billion to offset their losses from Chinese trade retaliation. Now, this isn't a bailout. This isn't billions of dollars to the auto industry. This is just checks getting cut, man. That stuff got paid back. So here's Trump creating a crisis, right? Using tax dollars to bolster up rural, presumably Trump supporters, generally speaking, in what? And claiming this all under the umbrella of economic development.
He's like Oprah Winfrey. You get a check, and you get a check, and you get a check. lot of socialism going around. At least Bernie would have had accountability on that money. Probably wouldn't have started a tariff war in the first place.
Well, so, in the fact that Donald Trump's even sitting down with advisors like Kudlow and Newt Gingrich, I mean, come on, folks. I mean, he might be playing the role, he might be playing the act, but he's not going to be anywhere near that, nor is Newt, nor is Kudlow. This is not going to happen.
Dom, I wanted to bring this piece at the Washington Post. We've been talking a little of the Trump proposed policies. I think they're being described as disastrous, but let me bring this piece to conclusion. Chris Clark, an economist at Washington State University, said the tariffs that Trump imposed on imported washing machines cost American consumers roughly $800,000 for every job saved. What a deal! But later studies, which took into account the impact of retaliatory tariffs as well, found the tariffs did not save any jobs. So the money spent with no job saved. Here's what Clark said. On net, this newest proposal of Trump would harm the American economy substantially, would gum up our whole production process. Producers would have higher costs, and now all of the consumers are paying higher prices for goods that used to be imported. One more economist, Michael Strain from the American Enterprise Institute, a center-right think tank, said the international trade restrictions enacted in the 1930s are widely viewed as exacerbating the Great Depression. Trump's trade war had a chilling effect on the U.S. economy, Strain said, but if this new plan were enacted, it could have a far bigger impact. Here's his quote, Dom, to wrap this piece up nicely. It would be a disaster for the U.S. economy. It would raise prices for consumers and be met with considerable retaliation from other nations, which would raise the cost facing U.S. businesses. It would reduce employment among manufacturing workers. It would be very, very bad.
This is a great idea. I like this idea. I'm excited about this idea.
So we've been going over some of the policies of Donald Trump, the economic policies, because, it's about the economy, stupid.
Well, and Foxconn here in Wisconsin was Donald Trump and Scott Walker's idea. The GOP debate is here in Milwaukee. I mean, this is what more prime example than Foxconn to highlight the efforts of GOP and mega economic development.
CJ, those are policies of your former president. Defend them, please.
Yeah, why would we want, not want to go back to 2.5% mortgage interest rates, 6.8% GDP, $2.28 per gallon of gas.
Foxconn, dude. Speak to Foxconn. Larry Kudlow
gave us.
Oh, Larry, you've lost all credibility when you start quoting Larry Kudlow on any topic. The man has always been wrong. Look up his history, CJ. Larry Kudlow's got a track record about as good as yours, and that ain't good. 844-967-2789. Mark from the SAC, welcome back. What do you got, fella?
Hey, Mark.
Oh, it just never stops with CJ. I mean, he doesn't answer the question directly. You ask him about Foxconn, and he switches to something else. And the reason we had the low gas prices back then is because demand had crashed because of the pandemic. And the fact of the matter is we might be due for another one here. And putting, hospitalizations are going up with COVID, and then people are going to be unwilling to mask up again. And in place, as a matter of fact, in some places they're making it harder to get vaccines and discouraging vaccines for all sorts of diseases that didn't used to be political at all. So, I mean, thank you, Donald Trump, and thank you guys like CJ who may be bringing, some more death and destruction to this country that doesn't need to happen. That it just is ridiculous.
And he bears no cookies for Crute. That makes him bad. Come back. More devils. Advocates, more for your phone calls. 844-96-PARTY.
When they go low, we get high. The Devil's Advocates.
And we are back. Thank you for listening to the Devil's Advocates radio show, a tribute to Larry Kudlow. Thank you, Nate 844-967-2789. We'll get to the callers, but I want to just jump in here quickly. John Eastman, the conservative attorney who pushed a plan to keep Trump in power, well, he turned himself into authorities Tuesday on charges in the Florida case, alleging an illegal plot to overturn the former president's loss. He was booked at Fulton County Jail and expected to have an arraignment in the coming weeks in the sprawling racketeering case. Trump's was bond, we talked about yesterday, set at $100,000, I believe, though I don't see it reported here. Eastman's was at $100,000. So Eastman
Dominic,
doing that. We have some sound. We'll get to that perhaps in a minute.
we see you, Tony from Wausau, and if you're patient, you're next in the queue. But just to speak to CJ's point, he evoked Larry Kudlow, and I went to a headline I searched with the Google. Try it once, CJ. It's a wonderful tool. Oh, geez. The power of radio, Dom. It has come through again. Oh, look at that. Oh, geez. Amanda the Driver. Love Amanda the Driver. Insomnia cookies, Dom.
Oh, those are yummy.
Oh. Trump's new economic advisor, Larry Kudlow, has been wrong about everything for decades. Just a little bit from the body of the work. The Republican stance on taxes, like its position on climate change, fake, and the national health insurance against it, is unique among right-of-center parties in the industrialized world. Republicans oppose higher taxes everywhere and always at every level of government. In 2012, every Republican presidential candidate, including moderate John Huntsman, indicated they would oppose accepting even $1 of higher taxes in return for $10 of spending cuts. They likewise believe tax cuts are the necessary tonic for every economic circumstance. Now, supply side economics, Dom.
Every economic circumstance, hell, every circumstance.
A little bit on our boy Kudlow. The purist supply siders like Kudlow go further and deeper in their commitment. Kudlow attributes every positive economic indicator to lower taxes and every piece of negative news to higher taxes. While that sounds absurd, it is a consistent theme he has maintained throughout his career as a prognosticator. It's not even a complex form of kookery. If you recognize the pattern, it's very simple and blunt kind of kookery. CJ, this is the man you're quoting. Kudlow's your expert. And, there was the whole, $100,000 a month cocaine habit? I mean, that wasn't exactly a youthful indiscretion. He was working on Wall Street. Just imagine like a bank down the road at that time. 844-967-2789. And may I say, my every wish and need has come true, Dom. I have had sweet insomnia cookies delivered to the studio here by the very sweet Amanda the Driver with love. I think they're warm still. Oh.
What kind are they? What kind are they?
I'm opening the sealed cookie box.
Oh, wow.
Not a cheap date either. These are
a variety pack looks like.
Buddy, we've got everything here. We've got the chocolate cookies, we've got the chocolate chip cookies, the M&M cookies. Oh, I think that's caramel. I'll let you know. I can't share with you and the audience
Amanda,
and finish the show.
Thank you, Amanda. You're awesome.
You are my heroine, Amanda. Tony from Wausau, welcome to the show. What do you got for us?
Hi, Tony.
Crumble cookies on the way.
What's that, Tony?
I've got some crumble cookies on the way.
There's multiple. Tony, thank you. How are you getting cookies from Wausau to Crute's Belly? What's the form of cookie delivery?
Power of the internet. I typed in your address and sent them from the Madison store.
Oh, so there's more cookies coming today still. Dom,
yep, you'll have to wait a little bit. So it's not till about 6:30.
Oh, Tony,
they could get them there.
Lady, person, wonderful human being that you are my second heroine. I will absolutely wait till 6:30. And here's the great news, Tony. I got a couple of cookies to hold me over till I get more cookies. I am so excited. Crumble cookies.
You'll have to let me know how insomnia is. We don't have one of those up here.
I've never even heard of them. To be honest with you, I didn't know there was such a thing. So I'm very much looking forward to it. And there will be no leftovers, Tom. I'm sorry.
Come on, man. You got like half a dozen cookies there. I'll see
Tony,
you tomorrow.
have you been listening on the Bull Falls radio? Do you like what you're hearing?
I love it. This is truly the greatest show on earth.
Well, thank you. You have excellent taste. Hopefully,
thank you, Tony.
not just in radio shows, but also cookie selections. We'll find out shortly. Tony, thank you so much. Can't wait to come party in the gateway to the Northwoods, Warsaw, Wausau, Wisconsin. Now, we partied in that town before. We have a little skosh of history with that town. The first time we were ever supposed to play out in Wausau. And ironically, it's on the very same station we play out on right now, 12:30 a.m. Bull Falls Radio. We've rebranded, but under former ownership, we played out. We're supposed to play out on the Saturday show, and we were in Des Moines, Iowa. And it reminds me, tomorrow's going to be a big day in Milwaukee. We're partying there. Please join us if you're able. There may be leftover cookies, but no promises. But there will certainly be good company in Dom and Crute. But that night in Des Moines, we checked into the Marriott, and the bars in the lobby, and all the who's who of politicos came strolling in. We saw Sarah Palin and Ben Carson.
And everybody's strolling in late, too.
Oh, it was like 2 a.m. We kept it open. We kept the bar open till the end. And then we had to produce a best of program to play out for our very first week in Wausau on the 12:30 a.m. Now the Bull Falls Radio. And you got up at 6, and I wasn't even helpful. You were just editing the stuff, and we put it all together. And Steve didn't play it out for us. Steve being the former owner of the station there. And I made a decision at that time. If I ever had the opportunity, I'd buy that man out of the radio business. Not exactly how it came to fruition, but, always great to make some new friends in Wausau, Dom. That's kind of close for me now. I go up to the cabin, Wausau, getting close for me. I'm up kind of getting all the way to Plover.
Oh, what's the bowling alley, man? Dave's Bowl-a-thon? Yeah, man. Yeah, we got to get up there again. That's a good time.
Dom, I assure you, after we get through this summer, and I know summer's your time, but we got to do a tour, dude. We got to party all around the great state of Wisconsin. We got to take this Love Fest on the road. There'll be warm cookies all around the state for us. I feel quite confident. Thank you all for listening to the Devil's Advocates radio show. We're going to do it live from Milwaukee, the Roman Coin tomorrow. Doesn't cost you nothing. You can join us. Probably have to drink a couple beers, make
You don't have
happy.
to. You can have sodas, water.
Tip
whatever.
the staff, water, sodas. That's all acceptable.
Yeah, of course.
But stick around. We got some big shows still tonight. The Maggie Dawn show is next. She's joining us tomorrow in Milwaukee. And then the Busted Pencils. And then the Rick Smith. Also, we got James Santel. You're going to want to listen or party with us, the Devil's Advocates.